Hey Addicts, welcome to another Goblin Slayer video. I'm Josh, and unfortunately, Michael isn't able to be here in the flesh, and I know it won't be the same without him, because I know he's your guys' favorite, so I have the next best thing. I have picture Michael with me, and I don't know how much help he's going to be, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's not terrible without him. So, jumping right into this episode 7, so we're over the hump for the season, because I believe there's only 12 episodes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nope, I guess I'm right. So, this is episode 7. We get to see that this is taking place maybe a few hours, I would imagine maybe a few hours after the events of the last episode. We get to see that Goblin Slayer and his entourage are kind of unwinding a bit. Goblin Slayer's got some work he's got to get done. He's got to send a letter. And we get to see that Priestess is the only one that's actually going to go clean up a little bit. So we see her in, I guess it's like the church's like bathing room, and we get to see that she's interacting a little bit with, I believe, the blind woman is like an archbishop, if I remember right. And we get to see a little bit of them interacting. She kind of makes some interesting comments about Goblin Slayer being like, he's a nice fellow, but he's not going to stick around forever. Something to that extent, And we also get maybe a little bit of a peek into her backstory, but nothing that much. But then after that, we get to see them basically go back into the sewers to try to kill some more goblins. And there's a really great comedic moment that I love. It's one of my favorite moments of this episode is Goblin Slayer brings this canary for a purpose that I'll get into a little bit later. But the elf archer is like, "What is that?" And he's like, "You don't know what a bird is?" and she's like, "I know that, but why is it here?" And that plays into a big part because Goblin Slayer later goes on to say that this particular bird, canaries, can actually sense poison in the air, and he's bringing it along to make sure that, they're notified for if that attack happens on the goblins, because as we figured out in the last episode, the goblins, somebody's been teaching them how to do stuff, so these are a little bit more advanced than the ones we've seen previously. And as they go a little bit deeper into the sewers, we actually get to see them go, not really fall into a trap, because Goblin Slayer kind of knows what it is, but they get caught off guard by some goblins that try to set up a trap for them. And this leads into probably the biggest struggle we've seen for Goblin Slayer particularly, and the group with him, with the goblins. We get to see him go up against a goblin champion, which is kind of like a hobgoblin, but much more powerful. And then we get a lot of bombardment with just overwhelming forces. I don't think that this is probably the heaviest action episode. It's definitely up there, but it's one that is, I would say, the most intense, because there's a lot of stuff going on, specifically with Priestess. She kind of breaks down and has some kind of flashbacks to, I guess, maybe like her situation in the first episode when she gave Goblin Slayer potentially hurt. Well, he's actually hurt, I would say, because they kind of play it off to where there's, I guess, some dice rolling involved into the circumstances that's befalling them, which is a nice little hint that I've been saying for a while, that I've kind of wanted more emphasis on the gods, and we kind of got that here. And so, that's basically it. We're left on a cliffhanger of them defeating the forces that are right there, but Goblin Slayer is gravely injured, and the team is not in the best of circumstances. Overall, I think this was a really good episode. This is probably the most serious episode since the pilot, and I really like the direction it's going. I'm curious to see where it's going to go in the next episode, because I saw some people, since, I'm missing a little bit of input on this episode. I took to, looking at maybe what the community was thinking, I guess you could say. And some people are like, this is kind of like kind of like a cop-out, I guess, because it's taking place not at the end of the season, so he's going to live. Which I'm not a big fan, because, we need to see the struggles and everything like that. So to me, I don't really listen to that. I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one, and curious to see what direction they're going to go. If they're going to maybe elapse some time, see them get him to safety and then elapse time so that we can get back to killing goblins, or if they're going to actually take a break next episode or two and then we're going to see them come back. But that's just what I think. We're going to be back for the next episode. Audio is better this time, so thankfully for that. And we're just going to keep it real short because, half the manpower, half the content. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Later, Addicts.